Okay. Now, just to remind you regarding the last session, okay, we start talking about the definitions and the principles of energy, work, power, energy, and the relationship between them, the different units used to calculate energy, prefix, and we give example about how we calculate the efficiency based on primary or final or end user, let me say, energy source. And I show you the global situation of energy and focus more on the situation in the GCC countries. Today I will classify energy sources, and I will give brief on each one of them, renewable and non-renewable, and try to compare between the situation in Oman and what's going on in United States. Now here, as you can see, sometimes they define it based on limit and unlimited type. So when they come to oil, coal, natural gas, they are limited, fossil fuel, but limited sources of energy. And when they come to solar energy, wind, gravitational, tide, geothermal, blah, 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 these are not limited energy sources, because as you know, solar energy, every day the sun is shining and we receive the same amount of energy and we can utilize it, and the second day it's coming again and again and again. So this means that it's unlimited, okay? These oil, coal, natural gas, they have reservoir and it's limited. One day it will deplete it. But sometimes they classify it into renewable and non-renewable. Renewable, it means what we consume is lower than the replenishment. As example, wood. If we consume wood more than what is available in our nature, one day we will face a day where there is no wood in our planet, right? The same thing for biomass. I will talk about biomass in full lecture later on, inshallah, this semester. So these are based on are they renewable or non-renewable, are they are depleted or non-depleted source of energy. I will start with okay, before I start talking about them, these are really interesting papers published in 2016, 11 and 16. One in 11 and 16 talking about the situation, one of them in Oman, prospect of potential renewable energy and clean energy in Oman. I published it in 2011. I will drop you from time to time. I try to send you some papers related to the topics I'm covering, which is, I think, will be useful to expand your information. And the second one is changing of energy profile of GCC states review. Now, non-renewable energy, I will start with the coal. You know, coal, we use it for barbecue, right? Coal is a type of fossil fuel. It's available in our nature. It's to produce energy. In the past, they use it for cooking, for heating, and later on, talking about around 100 to 100 years, they use it for engines, okay, to produce heat, to rotate the engines. But the problem of this type of energy source is its pollution. It's heavily polluted source of energy, where we can see there is acid rain, there is sulfur oxide emission, carbon dioxide emission, hazardous waste, and other problems coming from using this source of energy. Also, it's worth to mention that there are different type, bituminous and ligand and anthracite. You don't need to remember this name, but just to tell you that there are different type of coal. It's based on the quality, based on the nature of it, how it creates in our nature. Okay, so if we want to classify them, we'll say there is good quality coal, there is low quality coal. Okay. In United States, you see here this photo, you can see it's like a mountains. The same thing here in Oman. We have like mountains of coal. Okay, you may know this or not, but it's available there. In United States and many other countries, they depend on coal mainly to generate electricity. Okay, why? Because it's cheap. It's available in their nature and cheap. One of the advantages of having your resource in your country, you don't need to export it from outside. You don't pay for it. It's there available. You just need to utilize it directly. United States, they depend on coal because it's there available in their nature, and till today. So they may be one of the highest polluted countries in the world. 700 million tons of coal mined each year in the United States, even if this is old data talking about 2010, but this is the situation. Imagine 700 million tons yearly. And many other countries, they use it. Pollution coming from everywhere, from China to US to other countries, because as I mentioned, it's cheap for that the people use it. You can see smoking here. See here? Smoke coming from utilizing this source of energy. But coal, as I mentioned, it's available in our nature, but it will not stay for infinity. One day it would deplete. And there is a study, international study by IEA, International Energy Agency, talking about 2010, talking about there is around 130 years if we continue with the same consumption, another 130 years starting from 2010, the coal will disappear from our world. So it's depleted, it's not renewable. Okay. Also, while I'm talking about coal, it's worth to mention that, coal, oil, gas, all of them are fossil fuel. And the expectation also that oil and gas will deplete in another 42 to 60, 42 for oil, 60 for gas. So oil, gas, coal, all of them will deplete soon. Now in Oman, they found there is coal in Jalam bin Ali. This is a state, Jalam bin Ali, in two wadis, Mazawi, Fazawi, I don't know their names. Anyway, in Sur region, there is a huge mountains there of coal. And coal, one of the, let me say, best quality coal available in nature, okay? But there is, let me say, plan in 2007, 2008, 9, okay, to invest using this coal by having power plant around 1,000 mega, similar to the one established in Africa. They want to use it. I attended the meeting at that time in Muscat, where they took a decision that they don't go in this direction after a long process, because they know it will make a problem of pollution. It's not only CO2, ash and other hazardous. I mean, so they say this is not good option, and I agree with them totally. There is good estimation that if they use this coal in Oman to produce energy, it will stay for a long time, but at the end it will deplete. Taking in consideration also, there is a huge amount of pollution coming from this type of source. The other source is natural gas. This is also non-renewable energy. Natural gas, which represent mainly methane, okay, primarily ethane and mainly methane and ethane, and we will talk about them when we mention or discuss the biomass. In biomass, we will talk about the natural gas or gas coming from the biomass. Now it's produced either by biologically, or thermogenic thermally, okay, under the ground. It's coming with the production of oil in the rigs, either in the ocean or on the land. Now you see the let me say the fire there in Orbic. You can see one similar to this fire, okay, coming from the tunnel, or let me say the chimney, okay. This is natural gas. They burn it, because if they leave it without burning, it would be exploded and destroy everything. So they try to burning. Some countries, they try to produce it. They have process beside producing oil, producing the natural gas and save it in containers, and they use it. And one day they will reach this point. They invest also in natural gas. Anyway, natural gas is produced under the ground with the oil. Okay, it's coming with it. We use it at home by put it in a small, let me say, cylinder similar to this. Oman, one of the countries producing natural gas. There is potential. Long time back, they started producing natural gas similar to Qatar, but definitely we cannot compare the reservoir for natural gas in Qatar with that in Oman. But the trend is they use electrical power plant which use natural gas turbines. So most of their production start to be used in producing natural gas. I remember this graph, okay, in 2009. I remember this graph. I showed it in one of my presentation in Muscat and somewhere, I don't remember the workshop, but I talk about, have a look at this graph. This is from 1999 and 2009, and we have this is our production in blue, and this is our consumption in red. Okay, so the difference between them is what we are exporting, okay, outside Oman to bring currency to support the economy. But if we continue in the same trend, one way or other, they are going to intersect. It means what they produce, what the natural gas they produce in Oman, will be consumed inside Oman. Not only this, in the future, this is my speech in 2009. In the future, we will start exporting from neighbor countries, either Iran or Qatar, because they are the main. And it happened. It happened. Today, Oman brought natural gas from Qatar, and the expectation that it will put natural gas from Iran through pipe under the ocean, under the sea, sorry. So I will talk about diversity later on, but in this, we cannot continue in this trend in the same way. We need to do some change. You may have a look at this graph, which represents the predicted energy consumption. Consumption will increase for natural gas, for our energy, okay, will increase. You see the graph going up. This is expected because the lifestyle change, the needs change, the industry in Oman improved, and there is growth in this direction. So to expect that energy needs will increase. Another source in non-renewable energy source is nuclear power plant. Nuclear power plant is similar to you definitely you read or you hear or you see in internet the nuclear bomb. Okay, what happened is diffusion. Okay, fusion happen inside the atom, and a huge amount of energy released. And this is a nuclear plant to produce electricity. It's similar to the conventional plant, but rather than they burn oil or natural gas or coal to produce heat, they produce it by nuclear reactor. They produce a huge amount of energy, and pipes containing a fluid following through the pipes pressed inside the reactor, okay? So it gets heated. But the difference between nuclear power plant and nuclear bomb is it's controlled. They have bars like this. They open it or close it. They increase or decrease the amount of energy coming out. It's very, very simple, similar to conventional electrical power plant. And there are around 104 nuclear generating plants globally. With time, some of them now retired out of service, okay? And even if we consider since 1960, nuclear power plant appeared on our planet, and many countries starting using this technology, okay? But two disasters happened, one in 1986 in Chernobyl in Ukraine, and the second one in 2007 in Fukushima in Japan. But these two disasters happened enough to send a message that we need to think in a different way. Nuclear, when disaster happened, it will stay for 100 years, if not thousands years. So it's not worth. We need to look for alternatives. Oil, okay, maybe this is the last part of non-renewable energy. Oil, also, they expect that will deplete in another 42 years, starting from 2010, in the report published by International Energy Agency. And the point here I would like to highlight is, Sakar al-mic. Can you close the mic, please? Can you close the mic? Thank you. Hello. Okay. If you compare here between, this is billion barrels, okay, oil reservoirs in Oman. If we compare Oman with Qatar, Abu Dhabi, Kuwait, Iraq, Iran, Saudi Arabia, you see the reservoir is limited. oil reservoir in Oman is limited. This doesn't mean there is no other reservoirs, but this is the discovered one. More exploration are needed, more investment in this direction is needed. Okay, but for the time being, this is the reserve we're talking about. Let me say in 2010. This is by IE Energy Agency, published by IE Energy Agency. Now I will. Okay, oil, coal, natural gas, all of them used to mostly generating electricity to produce heat for cooking, for heating in buildings, for lighting. Okay. And at the end, the three type, which is oil, natural gas, and coal, all of them are, frankly speaking, are, let me say, part of hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons, hydrogen with carbon, but their connection in different way to produce either solid or liquid or gas. Maybe chemical people more familiar with this, and they produce the carbon with hydrogen. When they are linked to each other, they produce chain, either long or short or medium chain. So short chain is the natural gas, methane, medium is paraffin, and long chain is the solid, which is bitumen. Let me see this video. No, it's not available. Okay, just 1 second, let me. Okay.
دكتور دكتور
نعم.
منا بالضبط لأن وايد كلام ثيوري.
Okay. Now, before I continue, I've been insisting to listen to this viewpoint, okay, which try to link between our activities related to energy and sustainability, our lifestyle today, and the future, and what we expect to be our future, or for the future for the new generation. Still, try to introduce the topic, which is renewable and sustainable energy. Last lecture is just definitions, principles. This lecture is just overview, try to show you what are the different type of energy we are going to study through the semester. And next, inshallah, session, next week, the first session will be discussing the sustainability. I will introduce the sustainability as a topic and related to energy and your specialty. But the second session from next week, we will start doing energy related to engineering. It means design, equations, formula, calculations, method, approaches, and so on, simulation, and we try to link it to the experimental. But for the first 3 live sessions, will be only introducing some principles and concepts related to the course. Now, this is my book, latest book, published maybe 2 years back. Its name is Photovoltaic Thermal System. It is one of a kind because no similar book published related to this topic, which is a new topic, PVT. Okay, but through the book you may read. It's available in Suhar University library. It's available in many websites, international website available in Google. You can just Google it, you will find it, and you can have your copy. Now, here you can find a lot of information related to renewable energy, more focus on solar. Okay, I picked here just 2 graphs from the book related to what we are discussing here. You can see that there is sharing. This circle demonstrate the share of renewable energy consumption in 2018. You can see in the share here wind, solar, biofuel, hydropower, okay? And the same thing in this bar chart. You can see bioenergy, hydropower, wind, solar. What this take me to say? This take me to say that we need always to look to the diversity. It's not enough to depend on 1 or 2 of energy sources. As example, if I come to energy profile in United States, I will see that there is diversity. Okay, there is diversity. You can see there is coal, there is nuclear, there is fuel, oil, there is solar, there is wind, there is hydro, there is geothermal, biofuel, diversity. Okay, 10% from this, 15%, 17, 6, blah, blah, blah. But if we come to Oman, up to 2015, 16, there is 97.5 of power generated by electricity coming from natural gas and 2.5 from diesel in some rural areas, example Masira and Doqom, some places. Okay, so we are depending almost on natural gas. There is no diversity here. We need to think how to have different sources of energy, renewable and non-renewables, combine them, and each one of them have its share. Now, for renewable energy, I'm giving here brief just to introduce it. Otherwise, we will do the design, the calculation later on, inshallah, in each one in different sessions. Geothermal energy is the energy under the ground. It's coming as a heat, either rocks, hot rocks, or water, hot water, or hot steam. You may saw it in some places, as example in Ristaq, okay? You saw, and some other places, I counted maybe 55 holes in Oman, which have geothermal energy. You can see here some photos and some links if you would like to read more about them. In some countries, there are a huge amount, or say potential of geothermal, so they use it. In some countries, it is less. The application for them is different, starting from small, medium, large, either for heating and ventilation at home, for heating water, for generating electricity, or for industry, or for other applications. Also, we will discuss them in more details later on. Here in this map in Oman, you can see some holes which contain geothermal energy. The temperature is good enough, 55 to 100 Celsius. The other type of non-renewable energy is biofuel. Biofuel is coming from biomass. What we do is, agriculture sector, we have, let me say, waste coming from this sector. So what we are going to do, we use it to convert it in using some technology into fuel, methanol, ethanol, biodiesel, and so on. And you cannot say there is country without residual coming or waste coming from the agriculture sector. As you can see, all these wastes convert into fuel, and you can see here we use it to supply fuel for transportation vehicles. Some countries use more or depend more on biomass or biofuel, and sometimes use less. Water power, there is a huge amount of energy available in water, which cover around 70 to 73% of our planet. And this water could be either saved in a dam, similar to this, as you can see here. Okay, it's not only for generating electricity, also for supplying water for agriculture, to have a policy for water in this country. But at the same time, this huge amount of hydraulically used to generate electricity, because it's fail and rotate wheel connected to generate a turbo generator and generate electricity. The conventional one use long back time. Okay, we will discuss it and design circuit systems in this direction. But this is not the only type. From water, we have also tide and wave and otic. For tide, water coming to the land and back to the sea. Okay, we can see in this, even in Suhar, if you go to the Al-Yubil Fiddi Park there, right, near Suhar Beach Hotel, you can see the water coming to inside the park and then returning back. It's natural phenomena. But in some places, they use it by letting the water, when it come to save in a reservoir, and they use it here in turbo generator to back to the sea, but generate electricity. This movement is useful, and you can predict it because it's the same phenomena happen long time, and we will discuss this also and design the system later. For wave, the water wave, this is mechanical movement. If we know how to extract, and I will show you how we extract it, okay, later on, we use turbo generator similar to this one, like a snake, okay, in this way, and then we capture the mechanical energy, we generate electricity, and we use it. Otic, ocean thermal energy converter, also we will design and discuss this one. It's the difference in temperature between the surface of the sea and down deep in the sea. We will learn how we utilize it to generate different type, not only energy, different type of material and byproducts. I left solar and wind to the end because, as you know, solar and wind are the priorities for Oman, okay, based on many studies published by the government. Okay, so solar, solar radiation coming every day, and we have spectrum. We will spend our time talking maybe 6-7 hours related to solar, to see the different methods, the technology approaches used to capture this energy, and where to use, and how we design the system. Okay, so our priority in this course to focus on solar. Later on, we will discuss it in more details. But here, the solar energy coming from the sun, we have two elements. We have light, we have heat. We capture light through what we call a solar cell or photovoltaic to convert directly into electrical current, electricity. And the second one, heat. We capture it either to heat air for ventilation in buildings and blah, blah, or even for industrial applications, or for heating water, either hot water for, let me say, residual or industrial applications, or we produce steam for many applications, either industrial application, generating electricity, in oil enhancement recovery, similar to what we are doing in Mirat 2 in Oman, north of Oman, and so on. Different system, different technology, trough system, CSP, concentrated solar power, central receiver. We will discuss them in more details later on. And we start seeing this. It's not merit of something theoretical not available in our world. We see solar cells when, if now in Suhar University, if you come to our lab there, you will see solar cell. If you go some places here in Sohar University, you see some application using solar. If you go outside, you see in many places, some homes have solar cell today. Okay, wind is indirect reflection of solar energy. As you can see here in our planet, we have land, we have water, covered by land and water. Their heat capacity is different. Some of them heated faster than the other. As example, on the day when the solar radiation come and sun shining, the land heated faster than water. So if it is here hot, the air will get hot, it go up warm air. Pressure difference, here it go down because it's colder. Then this difference will rotate the air and we have wind. At evening, the opposite will happen. The air coming from land to water, and we will discuss this and design systems related later on. Different type of wind turbine available, as you can see here, horizontal or vertical type. We'll talk about them, we'll design them, we'll do the calculation for power, energy, cost, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes they put it together in this way they make farm, wind farm. It's like power plant, similar to the one in Al-Mazjuna, Junub, north of Oman. Now, you might say, okay, what is the credit for solar besides it's renewable, besides it's more environmental friendly, okay, it's free, okay? The amount, when we talk about the amount of renewable energy available in our world, it's, let me say, motivate or excited us to utilize it. I will give example here. Now, you know, the oil available on our plant, it took 200 million years to be created under the ground, okay? Thermogenically, under the ground with high temperature and pressure, it's created from biological things, okay? How much the reservoir, the non-reservoir, it's about 2.2 trillion barrel of oil. So in 200 million years, I'm here talking about numbers. So with numbers, I can explain the idea, okay? 200 million years, it took from the planet to produce 2.2 trillion barrel of oil. Now, each barrel of oil, okay, produce 5.8 million BTU. You remember BTU? British thermal units? This is amount of energy, okay? So if I multiply, okay, 2.2 trillion, divide by 200 million years, it tells me that every year in our planet, around 11,000 barrels of oil produced, okay, for 200 million years. Now, if I multiply this by 5.8, it tells me that yearly, we have oil produce 63.8 billion BTU per year, okay? Now, I will take this number and I will go to solar. Now, solar, we can see that the sun shining daily, okay, and it sends 100,000 BTU per square meter per year. Square meter. So if I multiply by the planet, let me say, area, then it gives me this number, 50,100 quadrillion. So it's like when I compare this number with the previous number, when 63 point something, okay? When I compare with them, it's like you are comparing the sea with a glass of water. So this is another credit added to solar energy. It's huge. It's huge. We can generate as much as we need, okay? While the other type, which is compared with, which is oil, is very limited. The amount generated. But by the way, when I did the calculation for 200 million years, I mentioned 11,000 barrels of oil produced daily. Do you know that humankind today use more than 100 billion barrel of oil daily? So, which is really, comparing with how much it's produced yearly, really it's not renewable. Not renewable. It will be depleted soon. For that, they mentioned that around 42 years from 2010, I mean 2052, the observer will deplete. So this is a comparison. Now, one more point here before I close the session is, now you may say, what is the barrier of utilizing these renewable energy sources, or let me say solar particularly? A few things. The first thing, by the way, I've been talking about this more than 15 years back, okay? And I remember the first time I talked in TV, on TV, so I received some call from some people that this is may trigger the authority to increase the oil prices. No, I mean, it is not in this way, okay? It's two-directional way, not one direction. I will explain. Have a look. What are the barriers of utilizing renewable energy? The first one is the price of oil. It's subsidized by the government, okay? It's cheap in the past, in the near, let me say, past. Now today they increased the price, okay? But it was cheap at that time. And also another subsidy coming, the fuel used to generate electricity also gets subsidy, not only electricity sector, the oil itself, the gas itself. And the third point is the renewable, there is no carbon dioxide, let me say, taxes, okay? It's everywhere. Most of the countries today, they have, it means if you have industry and you emit, you need to be emit within the limit. More than this limit, you need to pay for the government. And this will help to reduce the cost of energy, okay? Now, these are 3 points. It's good from one side that they release some subsidy because it will help the cost, the economy. But from the other side, for this point, they need to put subsidy for solar energy or renewable energy. Having 2 points together will solve the problem. One of them will not solve the problem. You got it? Yeah, we need to release some of the subsidy, but because it will be consumed somewhere else to build, let me say, schools, hospitals, to pay here and here, to recruit people and so on. But from the other side, we need to subsidize renewable energy technology. It's not enough. What's going on is not enough regarding renewable energy sector. These are 2, I think, important studies. I advise you to have a look at them. I will send you these papers with the previous 2 papers. One of them is Renewable Energy in Oman Status and the Future Prospect. I published it in 2011 and try to make my opinion, okay, my overview related to renewable energy in industry, in education, for a community, and how we can improve it. And for the good issues, many of these points I mentioned, which is based on studies. I mean, it's not coming by predicting the future, I mean, just without basis. No, with basis. But what I expected at that time, 2011, it started to happen today in many sectors related to energy in Oman. The other one is review of optimum sizing of hybrid PV wind energy, renewable energy systems in Oman. I will drop you the 2 papers in the Microsoft team. Now, this is just photo to show you that there are some countries already started long time back, talking about more than 30-40 years, to have large plant. In Oman, we just started. Now we have Ibri 2, which is 500 megawatt solar. We have Suhar, a few days back, Suhar plant 25 mega solar photovoltaic started working. And there are 2-3 plants, 500 will be start soon in Al-Dakhiliya, in Munah and Adam. This is from Portugal, Germany, Spain, and some other, California, and some other countries. I will stop here and happy to receive your questions. I'm still introducing the course. Okay, I know that with examples of problems you will be enjoying more, but this is to come, as I mentioned, in session number 4. Until that time, we need to introduce the principles, the overview of the topic, definitions. Do you have a question? Seem to be you are tired and looking for your lunch. Okay, I will stop here and yes.
دكتور أنا عندي تعارض في التوتوريال. يعني عندي مادتين بنفس الوقت.
Can we solve the clashes in timetable separately on the, because I'm recording on the Microsoft Team. Just after I finish my session, contact me. I will solve it for you. Don't worry. Anything else?
Okay, doctor.
Okay. Have a nice day. Thank you very much. See you. Bye-bye.